Hey everybody, it's Kevin McCarthy. I'm here with my wife, Lauren Veneziani McCarthy.
Hello.
And we are two married film critics who do movie reviews every single week.
And we have a dog, Oscar.
That's right, Oscar's right here. Hey everybody.
He's running away.
He's named after the Academy Awards.
Good boy.
We've had him for Lauren's had him for a little
7
over...
years or 8 years.
7 years, yeah. So he is our dog, and he's Oscar after the Academy Awards, and he watches all of the movies with us.
And he's the best.
At the house. So
Yep.
this week we're going to review Love, Simon.
And Tomb Raider. I'm honestly really excited to talk about both of these movies because I really enjoy both of them.
Yeah, it was actually a really good week for movies, and I have seen Ready Player One, and I'm gonna hold that review as my most anticipated movie of the year.
I'm jealous. He's seen it. We're seeing it in IMAX 3D here in DC the week it comes out.
Yeah, I'm going for
excited.
round 3, which I'm really, really excited about. But it's honestly, it's amazing. I can't wait to talk about it next week. But yeah, Love, Simon and Tomb Raider both were in the box office this weekend. They were both beaten by Black Panther again.
Yeah.
Black Panther made history for the 5th time in a row. So 5 weekends in a row was #1 at the box office, and that hasn't happened since 2009 for Avatar.
That's right, I did see that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, was it Titanic? But it was Avatar.
No.
Another James Cameron film.
And it's funny, Avatar and Titanic are actually the two, if I'm not mistaken, two highest grossing worldwide box office films of all time. Both of them are directed by James Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so Black Panther's obviously crushing at $1.1 billion so far at the worldwide box office.
It's
Again,
killing it.
31-year-old director on that
Ryan
film.
Coogler.
So,
yeah. But now we're going to talk about Love, Simon.
Yeah, we'll start with Love, Simon.
Yeah, I guess we'll start with Love, Simon. So Love, Simon, I honestly really enjoyed this film. I mean, Kevin saw it a couple months ago, but I
saw it in December.
Yeah, he saw it in December. They were trying to get early reactions, I think. He saw it in New York. But it is about a high school senior named Simon, played by Nick Robinson. We've seen Nick Robinson in Jurassic World, Everything. I've really liked him in everything I've seen him in as an actor. He plays Simon, who's a senior who is gay, but he has not come out to his close friends and his parents. His parents are played by Jennifer Garner, Josh Duhamel in the film. And it's about this journey of watching him come out, being in high school, going through all of those emotions, and kind of learning to live his life as an openly gay teenager. It's kind of interesting because I think this is the first major movie studio film with a wide release that has a lead gay character. Like, we had Call Me By Your Name, which was an Academy Award-winning nominated film, but that was like an indie release. Like, it was only released on a certain amount of screens. This is like a big major studio push. And I can't think of, I mean, the gay characters have always been supporting characters or something like that, but it was just really cool to see this film about a leading gay teenager, because I don't think we've had one before that's had a big release.
Yeah, Nick Robinson's amazing in the film, and I remember seeing this film in December, and I just was crying the entire movie. It's a beautiful story that kind of just deals with the idea of acceptance, and the whole idea of his character coming out is a big deal. But once that, and then he also has to deal with the what happens after people find out. So it's actually very interesting. There's a kid in the film who plays kind of a bully character that tries to hold this over Simon's head at one point. It's very interesting. It's very layered, very John Hughes-esque. I mean, I could totally see like this being written and directed by John Hughes if this kid come out in like the 80s or 90s. And
I think, like, bringing up the John Hughes factor, like, I think this is a film that decades from now, like, people are still going to be like, yeah, like it's just gonna be like one of those classic high school films.
Good.
Catherine Langford is also in it. She plays one of Simon's good friends. She was in Netflix's 13 Reasons Why. There's not a bad performance in the film. It's a perfect blend of funny, dramatic. The scenes but with Simon and his parents, Jennifer Garner and Josh Duhamel, are so beautiful and touching. They're so good.
And they released some of these scenes on, like, 20th Century Fox released some of these scenes as official clips. One of them specifically was the Josh Duhamel sequence when Josh Duhamel's character finally approaches Simon about him being gay. And it's incredibly emotional, very, very well done. The Jennifer Garner scene.
I was crying.
Yeah, I think everybody was crying. I mean, I remember sitting next to two of my friends who were just crying the entire movie. But the movie does a great job of it's never. I never felt like it was trying to preach a message to me. You know, it always felt
very natural.
It felt real. It felt like I was watching real people, real emotions on screen, actual emotional depth from everybody. Nick Robinson is so great, and one of the I guess one of the dramatic elements of the film is that he another kid in school actually is closeted as well, and this person starts up and they have an email chain. So Simon has an email chain with someone named Blue, is the nickname of the person in school who's also gay, and that becomes a whole like detective thing in the movie, is to finding out who the other person is.
Yeah, like I remember them teasing that in the trailers, but I didn't fully realize that's how they were going to kind of explore the story, and that really opened up the lines for a really good story. But I loved it. I love Simon. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. It'll be in the box office the next couple weeks, obviously. Definitely.
I wish it did better. And I
wish it did better too. That's why I say it's gonna be in the box office. Hopefully it'll be in the movie theater for a while, but I mean, I just think that it's like a movie that I think no matter what the age is, and especially kids in high school, I think should go see it.
Yeah, and Alexandra Shipp is really good in it. She plays one of Simon's friends. The whole cast is great. So I would recommend it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, and so did Lauren. And we both recommend seeing it. It's a very important film, but also it will entertain you. You never feel like you're being preached to in regards to messages. It's actually just a very fun, emotional ride that when you leave the theater you just feel really great. Like, I don't know, I just felt great when I left the theater, and I wanted to like hug my friends and like talk to my friends.
Did you want to hug me?
Yeah, well, you were here. if Lauren was with me, I would have hugged my wife. But yeah, I remember my buddy who was with me, Andrew, and a couple other friends were there, and we were just all like emotionally just drained after we saw it because it was such a well done. I don't think I've cried that much in a movie since Marley and Me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, Marley and Me, but for a different reason, clearly with the dog. But so we love Simon. 4.5 out of 5.
Yes.
Recommend seeing it. See it in a theater. Support this film and support this story.
Yes. Tomb Raider?
Yeah. Go ahead, you take it.
No, I love everybody who knows me. Knows I love Alicia Vikander. She's just such an amazing actress. Of course, you may not know her name, but you've seen her. She's done a lot of classic period films over the last couple of years.
She won the Oscar for Danish Girl.
Yeah, she won the Oscar for Danish Girl, and she's married to my favorite actor ever, Michael Fassbender.
And I actually I bought my wife a
I should have worn that shirt.
Mrs. Michael Fassbender shirt. Yeah.
The next Fassy movie that comes out, I'm gonna wear my Mrs. Michael Fassbender shirt. But no, Alicia is great in this film, and of course she takes on the role as Lara Croft, and it's kind of it's a total origin story of Lara Croft, and it's kind of reminded me of a female Indiana Jones. This is a different type of Lara Croft than, of course, the films that came out in the early 2000s with Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft, which I think are honestly we rewatched the first one the other day, and it's they're like campy and fun, but this one I think is one of the best video game adaptations ever.
It's the best video game adaptation that I've seen.
So good. I mean, basically Lara is kind of figuring out how her father disappeared, how he died, and kind of goes into an adventure figuring all that out and discovers some things along the way. Walton Goggins is also in the film. Dominic West plays Lara Croft's, Alicia's father in the flashbacks. So we have a really good cast here. And what I particularly liked about this Tomb Raider is that Alicia's Lara Croft was very human and vulnerable. She was running. She had so much physicality to her performance. It's not like she was, whipping around on a jet ski and her hair was perfect, ready to go to brunch afterward. I really just like how she struggled throughout this film to figure out answers, and her screams and everything like that. Kevin interviewed her and he talked with her about this as well. But I had so much fun with this film, and just growing up watching stuff like Indiana Jones, I'm like, wow, it would be so cool to see a female protagonist do the stuff that Indiana Jones was doing, and I feel like I finally got that with this movie and performance.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the whole concept of movies and action is immersion, and if you're not immersed in the action scenes as an audience member, then you're not fully going along for the ride with the character, and when you're watching something like this with Alicia Vikander, who's an amazing actress, she emotes with the audience, but also the way she grunts or screams or the way she goes through these scenes, it feels like a real person who's handling these action scenes
for real.
For real. And
I think it was a really physical performance for her in real life.
That's what it felt like. I mean, it felt like, I read that she gained 12 pounds of muscle, but on top of that, like for me, like as over the top and crazy as some of these action scenes are, it feels grounded in a realistic element because of the way she performs the scene. So it could be the most ridiculous thing you ever see in your life. If someone's jumping across a gigantic gap in the tomb or whatever, but it works.
It's no more ridiculous than Vin Diesel driving a car through the two whatever those towers are in Dubai. In fact, I mean, it's literally, but like that's on a whole other level of like crazy silliness that you have to buy into.
This feels real.
It does feel real,
and she's so good in it. And I think that there are some script issues, but I think that overall the action scenes are so great. I've seen it twice. I was floored the first time I saw it, only because video game adaptations generally aren't great. Over the years I grew up, I mean, when I was a kid, I loved the original Mortal Kombat. Looking back on it now, it's not as great, obviously. Resident Evil 1, I thought was solid. There's the really cool POV gun sequence in Doom with The Rock, which was really, really cool. But other than that, there really hasn't been a great video game adaptation that felt like immersive and real. And again, even the scenes when she's going in that river and she's jumping onto the plane, they recreated a lot of the game scenes from the 2013 game.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's definitely CG involved, but I thought they blended CG and practical really well. She's amazing. And obviously people have seen Ex Machina, she's amazing in that. But I like this film. I was happy with it, and to me,
I just honestly had fun with it. Not every single movie you go to into a theater has to be like an award-winning, classical drama, experience. And this film, I just had so much fun with it. I loved Alicia as Lara Croft, and I did not see it in 3D. I don't know how good the 3D is or anything, but I would just recommend going to the theater and seeing it in IMAX 2D or just a standard showing. It's just fun.
And support female-led action movies, and not just because they're female-led, but just because they're awesome
they were
movies.
Actually
Wonder Woman, I mean, like, me particularly, I want to see more female-led action movies, and I want more female-led action movies to actually have good scripts, good action, and like Wonder Woman and Tomb Raider were great examples of, like, listen, women have awesome roles out there, and there need to be more of these for roles like this. So I want to see Alicia Vikander take on definitely more of the Tomb Raider character.
I hope that there will at least be another one, because I feel like there's so much more they could explore with this character. And I gave it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was, leaning more towards 4.5 out of 5. I really honestly didn't even have any problems with it. I just thought that it was like really fun.
Yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5 as well. Definitely recommend Love, Simon. We'll be back next week with Ready Player One. We're going to see it in IMAX 3D on Wednesday, so the review we'll do for you I've seen it twice in 2D, so I'll be able to compare the IMAX 3D experience. And then obviously coming up the next couple weeks, we'll have Rampage with The Rock. We'll have Infinity War, which we're really excited about.
Kevin's been in a Spielberg mode lately. We were actually watching the HBO documentary, HBO-produced documentary last night of Spielberg, which I highly recommend. It's really interesting and fascinating, and I've learned so much about him. He has like 6 or 7 kids or something, and I had no idea.
Yeah, it's amazing what he juggles and still does.
I'm excited to see Ready Player One. I think Kevin is obsessed with the book, and I have not read the book. I may try and read it before.
You should read it. I read it in 3 days.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like one of the greatest books I've ever read. So I was very happy with going to the movies and seeing a Spielberg adaptation of this. So we'll have that coming up next week. Follow Lauren's reviews at dcfilmgirl.com. And go see Love, Simon. Support that film. Support Tomb Raider.
And Kevin McCarthy TV,
That's
obviously.
Right. Yeah, and our daughter Oscar. We'll feature him more in our videos, but thank you for watching our review, and we promise we'll have a name at some point.
Keep tweeting us your name thoughts.
Yeah.
I did get a couple the other day.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll read them off next week.
If you can, tweet us, Kevin McCarthy TV, DC Film Girl. Let us know what we should call this, and if you're just tuning in for the first time, we got married in 2016. We met in 2012. And we're just 2 film critics who do movie reviews, so that's kind of the whole concept.
Out of our Blu-ray room.
This is our basement in our house. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week for Ready Player One.
Bye.